वेलकम बैक लिसनर्स, वेलकम बैक टू रेडियो जिंदगी ऑन 1550 AM। मैं हूं आपके साथ में ईरा। शो चल रहा है गुड मॉर्निंग जिंदगी, जिसमें अब हमारे साथ जुड़ते हैं अटॉर्नी शाह पीराली। यस लिसनर्स, अटॉर्नी शाह पीराली फ्रॉम शाह पीराली लॉ ग्रुप से हम बात करेंगे अब से लेके 10 बजे तक के बीच में, एंड वी टॉक अबाउट इमिग्रेशन। अटॉर्नी शाह पीराली इज द फाउंडर, प्रेसिडेंट एंड मैनेजिंग अटॉर्नी ऑफ द शाह पीराली लॉ ग्रुप, which is headquartered right here in Newark. He is a member of the American Immigration Lawyers Association as well as the State Bar of California. He's a passionate advocate of human rights, civil rights, social action and social services, and he has a strong interest in and also the knowledge of the political and the legal system here in the US. उनका जो लॉ ग्रुप है, शाह पीराली लॉ ग्रुप, उन्होंने इसीलिए उसको क्रिएट किया, उसको फाउंड किया, ताकि उनका जो टीम है, दे कैन वर्क ऑन कॉजेज दैट ही फील्स मोस्ट आर्डेंटली अबाउट, दैट इज इमिग्रेशन लॉ, ऑल्सो विद एन एम्फोसिस ऑन एम्प्लॉयमेंट बेस्ड इमिग्रेशन। और जितने भी उनके क्लाइंट्स हैं, बहुत सारे क्लाइंट्स हैं यूएस में, ईस्ट कोस्ट में, वेस्ट कोस्ट में, उनकी मदद की जा सके। स्पीकिंग ऑफ क्लाइंट्स एंड ऑल ओवर द यूएस, दे हैव ऑफिसेज इन न्यूयॉर्क right here, in San Francisco right here, and also Washington DC. So like I said, West Coast or East Coast, Attorney Shah Peerally and his team are always there to help you. Get more information about their practice on their website, peerallylaw.com. That's PEERALLYLAW.com, peerallylaw.com. You can also call them on 510-742-5887. So without any further delay, let's get started. Attorney Shah, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning, Ira. Good morning to the listeners. I hope you can hear me well. Right now, we're having some static on the phone, and hopefully we'll discuss about issues in immigration and also the current events happening all over the world, which is affecting all of us, definitely. And we also wish everybody a happy Women's International Day. And we'll talk a little bit about some of the situations that I've seen as a lawyer with especially abused spouses and things like that. So we'll cover as many topics as we can in those few minutes. And of course, anything I'm going to tell you today is my opinion. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney if you have any question. And thank you, Ira, for the nice welcome. And again, this is Shah Peerally from the Shah Peerally Law Group. If you have questions, give me a call at the office, 510-742-5887, and Ira will give you the phone number for the studio. We'll be taking some few calls, right? So please go ahead, Ira. I'll let you.
Definitely. We will be taking few calls. So listeners, if you have a question about immigration and you'd like to speak to Attorney Shah Peerally right now, तो आप फोन कर सकते हैं स्टूडियो नंबर पे 510-770-1550. That's 510-770-1550, 1550, just like the frequency. आप फोन कीजिए इस नंबर पे. अटॉर्नी शाह पीराली इज ऑन एयर विद अस टिल 10 AM. तो कोई सवाल अगर आपके पास में है अपने लिए या किसी और के लिए, इफ यू नो समवन who's in a tricky immigration situation or has a doubt, you can clear that right now. Yes, Attorney Shah, let's get started.
Well, of course, Ira, right now everybody's mind is on the situation happening in Ukraine, and my heart goes to all the people who are basically suffering on both sides, by the way. I don't want to take sides on this, really. But the truth is, we're having so many things happening right now that is very unfair to a lot of people. But then this is not something new. We have seen this in Syria, in Libya, in Iraq. Now we're seeing it in Ukraine. So it seems the world is not getting better. And everybody was so happy almost getting out of the pandemic. Now, suddenly, we're just getting hit with a war, and eventually, if it continues, can turn into a world war. Hopefully, it will not. And we talked about that 2 weeks ago. I didn't have a chance to do the show live last week, and I couldn't talk about that. And I was hoping that it will not happen, but definitely it did happen now. How things are going to affect us on immigration, we have to wait and see. So far, it has not affected most people, but we are seeing a lot of from what I'm getting from my clients, a little bit more strict at the border. I even have few clients who are stuck outside for whatever reason. I think they are going to be, whenever you have something like a situation of war, you always will have more strict rules at the border. And based on that, we have to expect that things will not get better in the few next month. Even if we come to a ceasefire or even a peace talk, it's not going to be easy, especially because now there is a push on both sides for other countries to take their side, and ultimately those who don't take the side of Russia or those who take the side of NATO are going to be punished both ways. So now what happens to small countries, what happens to India, what happens to Pakistan, what happens to Afghanistan, people coming from there, we'll have to wait and see how they're going to treat the immigrants now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always the immigrants who are going to suffer. And now we're seeing a huge increase in refugees coming from basically Eastern Europe to Western Europe, and how they're going to tackle with that is going to affect their immigration policies there, and ultimately might affect us here. Is America going to take refugees here? I don't know. We don't have any data. Although we are pushing for the war, there's no real data that they will accept refugees here.
Right.
Now, this is
Attorney
going to affect...
Attorney Shah, I'm sorry to interrupt you. We have a caller who would like to speak to you, so let's take this call. Hello, you're on air with Attorney Shah Peerally.
हाँ जी, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये था
हाँ जी.
हमारे मम्मा जी ने अप्लाई करा था, हमारा ब्रदर और सिस्टर जो कि इंडिया में है 2008 में.
ओके.
तो हमारा मम्मी का डेथ हो गया है, लेकिन अभी जब उनका कोई निकलेगा पेपर वर्क तो ऐसे हो सकता है कि हमारा सिस्टर और मैं उनकी जगह लेकर अप्लाई कर सकूं, ये पूछना था.
Okay, I kind of understood. So in 2008, right?
So their mother applied for the brother and sister in 2008, and unfortunately the mother has passed away. So now she wants to know, okay, we know when the paperwork and everything happens, is it possible that they can apply or proceed on behalf of their mother?
Yes, indeed, she can. It's called a substitute of petitioner, but we need someone close who's going to take over the case. Maybe she can give us a call at the office. Maybe she can call us at the office at 510-742-5887, and we can go ahead and actually look into the case, because there's something called substitute of petitioner.
Okay.
And a sender PL law 100, but it has been codified now. So yes, it is possible, but possible. we have to talk in more details. Tell her to just give us a call at the office.
Right.
And I will be glad to do a consultation and go over things with her. Okay.
Sure. So, madam, did you hear that? Were you able to hear it?
Yeah, I understand. Thank you so much.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Once again, the number to call Attorney Shah's office number is 510-742-5887. That's 510-742-5887. Listeners, right now, if you have any questions that you'd like to ask Attorney Shah, call us right away on 510-770-1550. That's 510-770-1550. और उनकी वेबसाइट है peerallylaw.com. That's PEERALLYLAW.com. Yes, Attorney Shah.
Yes.
You were saying?
Yeah, very interesting question. Just to kind of let people know, if in case you have a petitioner who filed for someone, and in the meantime that petitioner has passed away, there's a provision under the law called substitute of petitioner. It applies for the petitioner, not the beneficiary. And you can substitute the petitioner by a closer family and meet the requirements, but it requires some work, and it is possible that you can revive the petition and ultimately get your green card through that. So if you need help on that, give us a call, 510-742-5887. Yes, so we were talking, of course, about the situation that is happening now in Ukraine, how is this going to affect us. We will have to wait and see, because right now they are so busy debating all the stuff happening, and I can see a lot of flaws in the whole debate. And then will that affect countries that are not friendly to America? And will that affect countries that are friendly to Russia? And I know from my from my experience, not really from a lot of facts, that whenever you have a situation where the people, there's a war or some kind of threat, the borders becomes very, very strict. So we're going to see a lot of strictness, a lot of difficulties for some people when they go outside. They will do extensive background check, etc., etc. So you need to be ready for that. Hopefully it will not affect most of our clients, but ultimately we're also going to see a lot of refugees, a bit like happened in Afghanistan a few months ago. Now, for Afghanistan, by the way, just because I'm talking about that, they are asking now for people who applied for humanitarian parole, which was the way to get them here, to have their vaccine test or vaccine card ready. So I don't have details on that. I just saw that, so I just wanted to mention it. So if you apply for humanitarian parole, which is what was used basically to bring the people here in the United States after the fall of the government, you need to go ahead and have also your vaccine card or something like that. So be ready for that. It's already a headache for them to even see someone from the embassy. So having the vaccine card, I don't know how they're going to do that. So let's see how things can unfold there. But at the same time, now we are going to see a lot of things happening. For one, we already saw the gas prices going up like crazy.
Exactly.
I heard in Los Angeles, in Hollywood, it's selling almost $10 a gallon. So that's not something normal for America. We're used to cheap gas, and it's going to happen. So many things are going to happen because of that. Now, as for the real gas, not gasoline, that also is going to affect a lot of people because much of it comes from Russia. Now, I don't want to get into those geopolitical or economic stuff, but it will have an impact definitely on people working in that field. So that will affect the economy, and inflation is going to hit high. So how it is going to affect companies, that's something that we have to see, because if companies are affected, we're going to get hit with a recession, and which means a lot of jobs will be lost. So hopefully it will not happen. Hopefully they'll come to some kind of peace terms in the next few weeks, which is what Russia wants, and also I think Ukraine wants. But of course, there are some people who don't want that. So those people, we can put them on the side. So let's see how things are going to unfold. Honestly, I'm very unhappy with the way that this is unfolding because I think I blame NATO as much as I blame Russia because they made a lot of mistakes there. But that's a different argument altogether. Now, looking back now, how this is affecting people at the border is key. So I already kind of having people calling me where they're getting checked and everything, and some of them are even getting stuck. I don't know if it is because of that, but I think the border patrols are much under pressure right now, and they are very worried and scared. So they will ultimately make things hard for you because they themselves are under stress. So that's something to look at. Now, going back to the International Women's Day, well, this is let's talk a little bit about some of the cases that I've worked on, especially for abused women. And it's not only for abused women, by the way, but since it's Women's Day, most of VAWA, which is the Violence Against Women Act, was enacted to protect people who have been abused. And mostly it was, as the act suggests, it's women, but also applies to men. So this is something that I've actually, in my first case I worked in my life was a VAWA case. First immigration case actually, and ultimately I won. And at the same time, I still remember that client, and I have worked on many of them. I don't know, maybe 500, 600. I don't know. I can't count it. Maybe more. And luckily, I think we won pretty much all of them except I think one or two. So I will suggest if you're being abused to look into VAWA. But going more deeply in that, I remember a case I worked for a lady who was really kind of suffering. She went through a lot of trauma. And kind of ironically, today she called not today, yesterday she called me and said, I wanted to thank you. Now I'm a U.S. citizen, and I wanted to refer someone to you, and you're like my family. And that's something really meaningful, right? It makes you feel good when you do this kind of work, and people are very grateful, and I really appreciate that. And I wish her best of luck. And also for people who know, we have been talking a lot about this lately, not about the H-4 visa holders, because while VAWA protects people who are married to U.S. citizens or green card holders, it doesn't protect people on H-1B visas. So people who are on people who are on H-4 visas, married to H-1Bs, they don't really get an opportunity to really file anything in terms of status. They have an opportunity to file under abused spouses for H-4, but that doesn't give them a status. All it gives them is a work permit. And I'm sorry, my throats are dry.
No problem. So why don't you take a sip of water, and I can remind everybody about how they can reach you. Listeners, right now, if you want to speak to Attorney Shah Peerally, we have our call lines open, and you can call on 510-770-1550. That's 510-770-1550, just like the frequency, so you can't miss that. 510-770-1550 is the studio number. If you'd like to get in touch with Attorney Shah Peerally directly after the show, you can call him on his office number 510-742-5887. Call on that number to make an appointment. 510-742-5887. The website is peerallylaw.com. That's PEERALLYLAW.com. peerallylaw.com. That's the website where you can get more information about how Attorney Shah and his team can help you, or whoever who's facing immigration issues, who has a question about immigration, or if you just have a doubt, if you have an ongoing case and if you need a second opinion, anything like that, you can definitely call them on 510-742-5887. And all this information is available on the website peerallylaw.com. Attorney Shah also has a YouTube channel, which is also, which has a lot of information and a lot of talks and blog about immigration. Right, Attorney Shah? What's it called?
Yes, it's youtube.com/Shah Peerally Law.
Shah Peerally Law, okay.
Yeah, and then Peerally like my last name, and then Law, L-A-W. Please try to subscribe to it. I've been kind of neglecting it again. I've been a little bit busy because of the H-1B season. By the way, we are in the H-1B season. And that's why, but I'm going to update it as much as possible. And all the shows that you hear most of the time, I upload them there. So going back to the topic, and Ira, thank you so much for helping me, that my throat was completely dry. And I was talking about the H-4 visa holders who are basically in the United States and who get divorced. What happens to them? What can we do for them? So we're trying to change that law to get them something like a TPS, a temporary protected status. So we need your help to sign that petition. Please sign on it. We have it on change.org. And hopefully we will be able to help more people to stay in this country. And right now things are not going to get easy for a lot of people with the war, the pandemic, you name it, and I don't know what's next. I just heard North Korea also is messing with South Korea right now. The war games is on, and humans seems not to have learned anything. Honestly, Ira, if we have shifted to renewable energy, all those wars will not even happen because they're just fighting for oil. That's all. Oil, minerals, it's all about energy, and most of them are destroying the planet. And it's something counterintuitive. We thought we are intelligent, but we are more greedy than intelligent, and that's why we are seeing all those problems around the world. And I just hope one person wrote something nice. He said, since the war in Ukraine started, how much the price of wind energy went up? It's zero, right? So the wind energy is still there, and we're not using it, and we're still relying on that oil. And now everybody's crying. It's going to be $300 a barrel, et cetera, et cetera. But the truth is, we could have shifted there a long time ago. And Elon Musk is right on that, although I don't agree with him in many stuff. If we can build 100 power plants that he has, it might have issues on the batteries, but we could power the entire world, actually. We just need 100 of those units. We don't even need that much. So that means we just need an area like the surface of Arizona to power the entire world just with solar and add wind, waves, etc. Just wanted to point that out because that's the whole mess we are going through right now. It's just a matter of running off the oil while we could file a lot of stuff that can be. That doesn't mean we completely get out of oil, but at least having alternatives would have made us more secure. But, you know, the big money people, the big corporations, they don't want that. That's a different story. So now going back to, for the H4, we want you to sign on that. And also, I think I have another 5 minutes, right?
We have 4 minutes, yes.
4 minutes. So I'll just talk a little bit about H-1B. H-1B season is open, and it's coming up. It already came up. So if you still have some time, if you're a new company, you want to put some of your employees in there, please give us a call, 510-742-5887. It's a 3-step process. Number 1, going to the lottery. Number 2, if you make it to the lottery, we file the case when they call on the case, and then the approval. And then once the approval, you get basically what we call the October 1st when the H-1B kicks in. These are for new H-1B, so it's open right now. Take advantage of it. If you need help, give us a call. Now, the other thing that is going to happen that the visa bulletin should be out in the next few days, and we will get an idea where it stands. It seems EB2s keep growing and doing better, and EB3 going backward probably. So if you are on EB3, you want to move to EB2, or you need an advice on that, give me a call, 510-742-5887. And the government is recommending people to move to the EB2, so take advantage of that. And also for the Afghans, like I said now, I think now suddenly all the stuff are coming out. They're still going on the humanitarian parole. You need the vaccine card or something like that. So you will see it on the USCIS website. You can check on that. And to recap for today, of course, we were talking about the big thing happening right now, the war. How will this affect immigration? We'll have to see now in the next few weeks. We will know how they're going to deal with the refugees, how they're going to deal with other countries who are not, quote-unquote, like Russia says, friendly to the United States, who voted basically against Russia or voted for Russia. So how are they going to treat those people coming from there? And we are going to also see a lot of things happening in the business sector, which means people on H-1Bs can be affected. And, of course, the price of gas going up. It has its good and bad for the economy, but it's definitely bad for the environment. So, well, it might be good for the environment. Hopefully people will drive less. But at the same time, it's like a lot of things will happen, and the price of everything will go up ultimately because we depend on this gas thing to pretty much run everything in America. And prices will probably go up. And supplies will also be a problem, including food, etc., etc. So will that make people more develop into different kind of jobs? We'll have to wait and see. Will that create more immigration? Will that create a block at the border? They won't let people in. We'll have to wait and see. But it will definitely affect immigration ultimately because it's always like that. Anything that happens, immigration is affected, no matter what. So be ready for that. And we will inform you as much as we can. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Shah Peerally Law. And anything I told you today is my opinion. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney if you have any questions. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Ira. We'll be back next week, same time. Hopefully, we'll have better news next week. So just keep tuning and on Radio Zindagi. We'll be back next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Attorney Shah. Thank you very much for being here with us. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in. Now you can call Attorney Shah and speak to him on the office number 510-742-5887, and the website is peerallylaw.com. Stay tuned to Radio Zindagi. Wonderful International Women's Day. Stay tuned. Chiye jao.